What is going on, RotoGrinders? Dean here, Dean7804. If you want to get all technical, 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation, taking you all the way up the lock on tonight's 7-gamer. I thought maybe there was a chance. Maybe there's a chance the sites were going to cut this short. They did not. Going all the way up to 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Just one game in the 7 o'clock block. Then we got an hour or so, actually an hour, until the next game starts. But some body parts we're monitoring as well. 7 of the 14 teams, 7 gamers, 7 of the 14 teams on the back half of a back-to-back. So there are plenty of moving parts. That's Miami, Golden State, Phoenix, Philadelphia, the Clippers, Utah, and the Spurs, all the back half of a back-to-back. Two teams on the front end. It is Sacramento and Toronto. Joining me today, Chopper. Happy Tuesday. How are things, Chop? It's Television Tuesday, Chop. We'll give the people the first clue. If you're an early riser, let's give you a little bit of an advantage. Let's go ahead and scroll that first clue. Tell me what TV show I'm talking about on the Discord channel. RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Be the first person to tell me what TV show I'm talking about. One guess per clue drop. The first clue is knife. What's up, Chop? How are things?
What's up, Dean? Little Tuesday action for us. I'd like to see Hoosiers hang banners already in the chat. Want to give a big old congratulations to them boys out there in Indiana. They pulled it off last night. Now, they were sweating. Miami made them sweat there for a while. It was coming down to it. So, but congratulations. That's a pretty big honor, man, to get that kind of cap to your season like that. That's Division I, and that's big time. So congratulations.
16-0, I think, right?
I forget what the final total was, but definitely undefeated.
Congratulations.
Just weird. Just weird how things work out, like that. And I don't know, who knows, like the path that they took. They were clearly a really good team and probably the best team in football, and so good for them. And Miami gave them a good run, though. That's for sure, man. I knew Miami was going to do that, but
they covered. Miami covered. That's all that matters.
Well, to some people, Michael Irvin don't think so. Michael Irvin he's probably very disappointed today. But yeah, man, they got after him. They're really good. Miami put together a good team. They just got by. You just can't make those mistakes like that against a team that good. You can't get a punt block, Dean, for a touchdown, man, in the second half. You can't do that. You can't.
Also, why are you not to cut you off, but why are you catching the ball in the 5? One of my things that tilt me so hard watching football. And I don't pretend to know more than the coaches and all that, but just I do know the upside versus the downside. Why are you catching the ball at the 5-yard line? I just on a punt.
There used to be a rule that we all knew. We didn't. I never returned punts. You never even
inside the 10.
Yeah, if you put your heels on the 10-yard line if you're a punt return. If it's over your head, you let it go. That's that. I've seen it. It's not just college. I've seen it in pros too a lot lately. But they're doing it. It's just so weird, Dean. I think back and I go like, so A&M and Miami kicked this whole thing off in the playoffs, and A&M was on like the 5-yard line or something in the last minute and was about to win the game and beat Miami. And that would, you know what I mean? Like Miami's not even in this position if A&M just doesn't throw an interception in the end zone when they're about to win it. And you think, well, what would have happened? Well, Ohio State doesn't lose to Miami, and Ohio State rolls on, and it's Ohio State and Indiana in the finals again, and who knows how that played. Just so weird how it all works out like that. But, it was a good game. So, yeah, Hoosiers hang. Yeah, he came close with the Pacers last year. Very close. Blowing Achilles, man, might have cost you that one. But had a good run in Indiana. So save a little bit for the rest of us, man.
I thought it could have been a monumental false start. Like the game was essentially over if they just get a first down on 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1, whatever it was. And false start by the vet on the O-line. I'm told that this is – I don't watch a lot of college football, but I'm told this is a very well-disciplined team, Indiana. Also, their average age is 22 to 23. I guess that's the new thing with college football, and it's an interesting angle. Just beat a bunch of 20-year-olds when you're 22, 23. to somewhat of an advantage, I suppose. Not discrediting them in any way. Shout out to the Indiana. They figured it out. But yeah, they left the door open because all you needed was a first down with like 2 or 3 cracks at it, and then take some knees. The game's over. But that false start could have been one of the worst penalties of all time if things went the other way and Miami, scored a touchdown there, which they had a chance.
So Dean, I want yeah, for sure, all that little stuff. It's so weird how that play, and yeah, they are the most disciplined team you'll ever see, like in the history of sports, man. Like I don't know if you watch the game from start to finish. It's a microcosm of what they don't. That was a lot of they made a lot more penalties than they typically do. But like if you watch them on defense, Miami in the first half, he goes to throw the ball. There's nobody open. He can't find there's nobody. Yeah. They sit back in a zone, and they have good linebackers, and they're just so disciplined. They just nobody's out of place ever. So they're good. But here's a question for you, Dean. So you watched the game last night.
Most of it, yeah.
Prior to that game, we got to see 2 Indiana blowouts. And there was a lot of oh my God, the Raiders, they're gonna, they hit the jackpot with Mendoza. And then last night you're watching against a good defense, and he looks everything like the completion percentage way down from normal, yardage way down, no touchdowns. He had the one rushing touchdown, but took some sacks. What do you think about Mendoza now as a number 1 pick?
I don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to know. I don't have a good read on it. I will leave that to people that are smarter than me or that have studied it more. I think he's got an ability. I will say the rushing touchdown you mentioned, that's going to go down as one of the best plays in college football history. Like that was on 4th down. That was 4th and 5, right? Ballsy call, hell of a call. And that was not improvising. That was drawn up as a draw, and just kind of it's iconic that shot of him. That just happened, and not to be prisoner of the moment. But that's going to be when they run the highlights of national championship. That play is going to be in that highlight reel forever, indefinitely, right? Like, would you not agree with that?
No, it was a heck of a run, and Miami.
You think he's going to be good? Like, you think he's going to be a legit top potential?
You know what it reminds me of?
Who's that?
Is a more athletic, because he can actually get out of the pocket a little bit and run. Like he's not gonna, but like you saw last night on that play, he can run a little bit. He's a more athletic Kirk Cousins. Just kind of, if you pressure him, he's in trouble. But if you give him some space, clean pocket, he has the accuracy. He can pick you apart like a more athletic Kirk Cousins. What's that?
Goff? How about Goff? Jared Goff?
I think they're a little bit different. But pocket pass, okay, maybe a little bit like that. But he's got that accuracy like Cousins, and I don't know, something about it. But yeah, I don't know. Good for them. Fun game. Good way to cap off the college football season.
And he's a Raider. We're assuming he's a Raider.
Oh yeah, I don't see how they can go any other way. They have to have a quarterback. He's the best one in the draft. You just gotta. You can't sit there. I've heard people say, "Oh, trade that pick," and no, you're there. Like this is your chance to get a quarterback and give it a shot. Dean, it is. So it's June. It's January 20th today. Next year, the college football championship game is going to be on the 25th. Like they keep pushing it back more and more every year. I don't understand what they're doing, man. Where they need to wrap it up quicker. Instead, we're making our way towards February with this thing. So.
I'm assuming money's driving that in some way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that's the motivation. Okay,
100%.
Let's dive in. Let's knock out the
go. Let's do it, Dean. Big slate today.
It is a big slate. It feels kind of stars and scrubs. We lost Jimmy Butler last night to an ACL. There are other players we are still monitoring. As far as who's potentially in, who's potentially out. In the early game, we talked about this yesterday. We spoiled this for you guys yesterday. Joel Embiid was, in fact, not going to play the back half of a back-to-back today. He is out, injury management, but now Paul George didn't play yesterday. Maybe Paul George is back today. Maybe that's the plan. They didn't tell us that. He's questionable officially. Mark Williams, we've seen him play some back halves of back-to-back, so just be, he was not doing it earlier in the year. He's questionable too. We'll know that. If we don't know that, Crunch Time will know that. That's the early game for Phoenix back half of back-to-back for the Suns. Williams is questionable. Other pieces we're monitoring, Josh Giddey. We might see the return of Josh Giddey for Chicago. He's questionable with his hamstring. We have not seen him for a while. Tari Eason's questionable with his ankle. We have not seen him for a while either. Utah, maybe Lauri Markkanen's really sick. I hope, if he's sick, I want him to feel better, but it feels like they've been going to this he's been sick for a long time. They are potentially down to, they're down to 10, right? And it might be 9 if they sit Nurkic. And I got some interesting nuggets on that, which I'll shout out our guys in the projection team. I was just peeking their conversation, talking about it. And we'll talk about it. But yeah, Utah might be down to 9 if Nurkic doesn't play, but I think he plays, but I don't know. Either he starts and plays or doesn't start and doesn't play at all. And I assume there's a chance if he doesn't start, they might just roll out 9. What else are we looking at as far as who's in, potentially who's out? Kel'el Ware is officially questionable for Miami. He's got a hamstring. It is a back half of a back-to-back for Miami. Bam Adebayo, man, he was absolutely horrendous last night. Draymond is questionable in the injury report. I thought they said last night he was going to play. He's officially questionable, but I thought they said he's going to play tonight and play on Tuesday and sit on Monday. Maybe I'm misremembering that. I'm not sure, but I think he's going to play tonight, but he's officially questionable. Will Richards also questionable, as is DeSantos. But the big ones are Paul George. In that first game, I guess Giddey can just kind of muck stuff up for Chicago. He'll almost definitely be on some kind of a minutes limit if he is back tonight. Is there one injury that's most important to you as far as tonight's 7 games that you have your eyes on most?
No, not one, because there's just several that are going to be impactful. I'm pinpointed. All that you said, the Butler thing is going to be wide open out there in Golden State. Kawhi is going to create some havoc for the Clippers. Just all kinds of, Embiid's impactful. I couldn't limit it down to one. So it's all going to make a difference, and I think it's going to be fun building lineups tonight.
We did give the projection team gave Kuminga 1 hedge minute. So, I imagine if he plays, he's going to play more than 1 minute. But I also think it's more like he doesn't play. Kuminga for Golden State. We talked about that last night. He might have played his last minute for Golden State.
They got to blow it up now, Dean, don't they?
Yeah,
that's it, man.
Yeah, if they can, I don't know how. I don't know if there's a blow it up button, but yeah, I think so. I think it's over. It kind of already was over, sort of, mostly over, but now it's definitely over. It's definitely over.
100%. The question now becomes, Dean, do they do the Steph sign off on it, or does he want to retire a Warrior? And do you on
the right spot?
And do you honor his if he does want to retire, or do you honor that? But yeah, that's the piece, right? That could fetch you a little something right there to the right team.
37. What can you get for a 37-year-old Steph?
Look at all those teams that are just on the fringe right now. They think they got a shot, and that guy would push them over the top. Oh, you can get something for him.
What's the best landing spot for him? If you can build I've not looked this far.
Oh, I know the best landing spot, but it can't happen. Oh yeah, they need a point guard. Why
can't it happen?
The money.
Is that what it is? Okay.
You would have to trade Durant or Şengün because of the money to get in that deal. Steph makes $60 million a year. 60.
Would you theoretically trade Şengün for Steph?
In this win now scenario, sure. But I don't think they'll do that though.
Yeah, obviously it's a short-term gain, even though Şengün's really good. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, and I don't know. I guess it's not possible math-wise. It seems unlikely. And Şengün, of course, a foundation piece going forward, unless otherwise noted. But yeah, that's I assume they're going to – I think all options got to be open there for Golden State. Draymond, anybody's available, I would imagine. Okay, let's do it. Let's knock out the first game. It's the Suns and the Sixers, 222.5. That is the total. Did mention, again, both these teams in the back half of a back-to-back. That is a common theme on the slate. Half the teams are playing the back half of a back-to-back for that reason. Also because Embiid sees Şengün on Wednesday. So that there's no way they're going to play him 3 out of 4. So he's not playing tonight, Embiid, for Philadelphia. Paul George didn't play yesterday. He's officially questionable with his knee. As far as the Suns, we saw Booker play yesterday. They're as healthy as they could be. We even have Jalen Green expected to play tonight. He's barely played at all this season. through multiple injuries. Mark Williams, like I said before, he's officially questionable in the back half of a back-to-back. Jordan Goodwin still playing with that mask. He's fine. They just keep him on the injury report, but he's going to be good to go. We also have an if-then set up as far as George being in or out. Kind of a hedge, I guess. I don't want to say you figure one of these bigs for Philadelphia, the absence of Embiid, maybe Drummond, maybe Bona. We are giving Drummond the start. I don't know if one guy necessarily separates enough, at least projection-wise, that they become like a must-play, but certainly they're both in play. How do you see the Suns and the Sixers?
I mean, first off, you have to address the fact that this game starts 1 hour earlier than every other game on the slate. So, do you really? There is could be a little bit of built-in value just skipping this game altogether and just waiting, and then getting some news, and then you're ahead of the curve because, you look out there and you see Maxey and Paul George going to draw some ownership. So maybe you could hope for a fade there, hope for a poor game or an average game, and then you're sitting in the catbird seat with all the late games. So, but I think, I think Maxey's okay because Embiid's out. So Maxey's in the. I don't mind Paul George either in this spot. I was prepared to acknowledge VJ Edgecombe, except for I saw the price tag still lurking around 72. That's too much. So I can't go that route. I don't know if people are going to flock to Drummond with Embiid out, but I'm not necessarily on that train either. So it's Maxey or Paul George on that side. And for the other side, nobody really jumps out. Nobody popping out. If you really wanted to twist an arm for a salary saver, which I don't think you need to do, Iguodala is right there. He's probably looking pretty good in the projections. He's a decent number at a very low price. But the one guy I highlighted for performance reasons was Grayson Allen, putting together a pretty good string of games when he plays, and this isn't an opposing matchup right now, so maybe Grayson Allen because of the price tag. So yeah, that's where I'm at on this game.
Paul George has seen the biggest boost in the absence of Embiid, 3% as far as usage, but the biggest usage on the team is Maxey at 32.2%, which is a boost of 2.5%. There are some really good spend up point guards today, Chop. We love Maxey in the absence of Embiid. You cannot assume he's going to get 8 steals like he got yesterday, which was completely ridiculous. Certainly separated himself. He's spectacular in the absence of Embiid. But like we're talking about Harden without Kawhi, Jamal Murray without everybody or without Joker, Steph without Jimmy, Luka is just amazing no matter who he's playing with. Where do you have Maxey as far as the elite point guards like Maxey, Luka, Harden, Murray, Curry?
He is, I probably have him in the top 3 as far as you talking about, not considering, the value plays or anything, just the elite guys, like you said, high priced. He's top 3. He's with Murray and he's with Harden. I'm not as much on Luka at that salary today. We'll talk about him later, but he's fine. But I wouldn't highlight him. You can play Luka if you want to, but Harden in a great spot, Murray in a great spot, and then Maxey. So he's in that top 3. I don't know that I could pick any of those guys over each other. They're all really good.
And I don't even think I mentioned Booker. He's a step behind those guys. He's a little bit cheaper too. It is the back half.
No ceiling, Dean. No ceiling.
He's got to score like 40 points basically because he's unlikely to give you. He can give you some assists, but the boards are just not going to be there. Not a big stocks guy, so he's got to score. He's got to score a lot. Yeah. By the way, first clue: nobody got the winner today for today's. No hole in one for Knife. Chopped was guessed. The Bear, good guesses here. Dexter, Hell's Kitchen. Dexter a little on the nose. Not Dateline, but that's a good guess as well. The second clue, Chop. Second clue for today's Television Tuesday. Scrolling now will be corporate, Knife and corporate. That is your first 2 clues. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium, football, baseball, basketball, hockey. NBA, of course, all the bells, all the whistles. PGA is in full swing now. They just started up last week. You get the optimizers, SimLabs. You get all the articles, anything you can sort of Anything you see it on the screen that we're showing off here, you get access to it for a week. I did want to just address the bigs here for Philadelphia. Minutes wise, we're given Bona 25 and Drummond 19. I don't know, man. Like, we've seen Bona sort of pass Drummond by, but I'm not sure. I could see it going both ways. I would, if Drummond wasn't starting, there's just no chance I would play Drummond. We're expecting Drummond to start, which is kind of interesting because they're still only giving him 19 minutes. But, you got to pick one of the starters amongst the two. Somebody's asking about Barlow. I can't really get excited about Barlow. I don't know if he's somebody you'd consider necessarily. But, yeah, I don't know if anybody separates amongst those bigs. And we also have plenty of value on the slate, which we'll talk about. So I don't know how necessary it is. But we certainly have seen games of Drummond, put up like 15 and 20 in like 4 blocks when he's given an opportunity. And there's certainly a chance where he could play 25 plus minutes here. Do you lean amongst those two, Drummond or Bona? Are you just going to X them out? How you feeling about them?
Yeah, I'm not playing. I don't think I would play either one of them. I don't feel great about either one of them. If I don't know. If I had to lean, Bona, but I don't like either one of them, Dean.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a good take on it. I wish I felt better about it. And like, we'll talk about Sandro Mamakilashvili, who's projecting really well as a cheap center for Toronto later on in the slate. If you need a salary savings at center position, it's probably Sandro. I want to see if there's anything different when it comes to like fantasy points per minute with the absence of Embiid. Well, like most of these guys, I guess Drummond, I don't know how often you see Drummond play alongside Embiid. We've seen Bona play alongside him somewhat. Just pulling up the court IQ here. Bona is not as good of a fantasy point minute player, obviously. Drummond 39.77 per 36. I don't know why I have it in per 36. I tend to like to put it per minute, a little bit more precise. It defaults to per 36, Chop. I don't like that default, but maybe other people like it.
Never understood the per 36 default. Never understood.
Oh, we're in agreement on this. Yeah. And we're not shouting. We're not taking shots. I assume some people like it. But
why per 30? Why not just then per 48? Like, why 36? Why is that the magical number?
I guess players play up to 36 minutes. I don't know. But I always change it. I always go to per minute in the court IQ. But Drummond 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Bona 0.83 when he's not playing alongside Embiid. But I'm not sure is the long and short of it, but if I was running 150, I'd certainly have pieces of both, and I feel better as an upside play, Drummond, but I definitely need him starting. Anything else here as far as Phoenix and Philly? Okay, your Rockets, Chop. Are you excited about this game? I assume you're excited about this game. Battle of Texas. We're not counting Dallas this year, right? This is the Battle of Texas. It's the real Battle of Texas. San Antonio taking on the Rockets. Şengün versus Wemby. This should be a lot of fun. For sure, who's in and who's out in this one. Well, no Steven Adams. Steven Adams is out with an ankle. We might see the return of Tari Eason. Otherwise, Houston is clean. And the Spurs are as healthy as they've had been in a while. With nothing really new. Devin Vassell, he's been out. Everybody else that's out is not even worth acknowledging. It is the back half of a back-to-back for San Antonio. So, I don't know how many minutes they can push Wemby for. I think he didn't go that hard yesterday. Maybe 25 to 27 minutes yesterday. He played 26 against Utah. How are you feeling about your Rockets versus Spurs? If nothing else, you're probably watching this one, maybe?
Watching it, but don't feel great about it, Dean. I'd rather be healthy here than to watch this team without Adams and without Tari Eason probably. But I don't like this game for fantasy purposes. It's the lowest total on the board. It's two good defenses, especially the Spurs defense. Houston can be lacking a little bit, but they do have the defensive capabilities of making it very difficult on a San Antonio team that only has a couple of really good shooters. And that's what's going to kill the Rockets here is the shooters, and that's not necessarily Castle or Wemby. So I just think it's a defensive struggle in this game. And like you said, Spurs are healthy. So Wemby played 26 last night, almost 60 points. The Similar thing tonight, the game before that, limited minutes, 60 points. So he's got it. He can do it in limited, but are you paying $10K for limited minutes? I prefer not to. So kind of takes that off the board for me. And then the rest of the guys don't do it for the Spurs for me. And I really don't want these Houston guys against this Spurs defense either. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just not feeling all that great about this game from a fantasy perspective. I don't know if you twisted my arm. Well, yeah, I don't know, Dean. I'm hearing a lot of chatter that they're going to start limiting Durant's minutes. He can't keep playing this many minutes. So I don't know when that's going to happen. Don't know when it's going to happen, but the coaches are well aware. So just be aware that, like, at some point, you're not going to get these 35-plus minute games from him anymore. So I'm not really in love with this game too much at all.
Yeah, we saw that it was a couple games ago. God, what game was that? Was that the game against Portland where at the end of the game, like they asked the coach end of the game, and then he goes again, they blew, and like they basically asked him, they said, yeah, we had to take out our 37-year-old, basically we had to take out Durant for 2 minutes, and everybody else has collapsed. Was that? I mean, he was so pissed. I don't know if you saw this clip. You probably saw this clip, and he played 39 minutes in that game. They had to give him a breather, and that the 2 minutes that they took him out, they couldn't hold the lead. And yeah, the game log chop, just to be the game log guy, 36, 40, 37, 40, 38, 39, 37, 38, 38, 37. Outrageous. He should not be playing that much. I get why they're doing it, I suppose. But this stuff can have repercussions,
You need a point guard, Dean.
Yeah.
They can't get into their offense without a point guard, and he's the only one who can do it. And so when he leaves, offense collapses, teams make a run on you. And then I don't know if you saw Adams. I thought he was done for the year. Steven, I thought he was done. I can't believe it's just an ankle and that at some point he's going to come back.
Yeah.
Because when he went down like that, I thought, oh, my God, he just blew out his knee. So, but they need a point guard. That's all there is to it. When they get a point guard, things will start clicking. But I think that put the sense of urgency in the front office to go out and get one now, because that's too many minutes on Durant.
I think it'd be fun to see Curry. I guess we're fantasy booking, and it's probably just not going to happen. But that would be a lot of fun and a real challenger. Like, I guess I would say there's still challengers to OKC, but ownership wise, by the way, but the other guy they're playing a ton now, he's younger, is Amen. Amen Thompson projected to play 38 minutes. The minutes have been just outrageous on these Houston guys. Just a really, really tight rotation in a game that you'd have to imagine matters here. A game against the Spurs. Where are they at here in the standings? I think they're very close. San Antonio 30-13, Houston 25-15. I don't know, San Antonio had 5 games in the win column on them. But and the minutes for Amen, 40, 36, 40, 42, 41, 37, 39. Just outrageous. So just really tight rotations, but still the salaries are appropriate, and nobody currently is projected for double-digit ownership on DK. Şengün's the closest, right around 9 and change. FanDuel-wise, we have Şengün at 13%. You can play a power forward, which is helpful. You can play him power forward on DK as well, but just not a very popular game, just because of all the reasons we sort of laid out. Anything else we just say, or shall we scoot along?
Scoot and boot.
Our Paul George update was predictable. The update was no update. Game time decision. Like, Chop, you think that they've decided if he's playing or not, right? Probably yesterday they decided if he's playing or not. Like, you can't
100%.
You can't just tell us. This isn't like an injury thing. It's just a management thing.
So here's the thing, Dean. If it wouldn't have been so I forget what happened that brought the Bo Nix thing out to light, not before the Sean Payton conference. Like, something happened. Somebody spotted something already. If they didn't do that, I think we'd still be sitting here midweek and he'd still be playing games with Bo Nix. Like, he hasn't practiced. We don't know his status, because they think that's an advantage. That
kind of would be, actually. I think that actually would be.
That would actually
be a real advantage, and I would understand being coy.
But that's where but they all play games like that. Even when it doesn't matter though, they want to be coy and play these games. So let them do it. Why not?
So the Knicks thing was interesting because I thought there was a chance. Like Denver had the ball like in the 5-yard line, right? They got a first down, the ball on the 5-yard line. And I thought, like, obviously it's like an extra point. There's a 98% chance you're going to make the field goal. But I thought there was a chance, and I was also sweating out because, the total, the sides and all that. I thought Denver would take a crack at it on the ground just for – you could run it in. It's okay. You can just run it in. And if you don't get it, no big deal, right? And they didn't. And I thought that was interesting. Like, they went straight to the kicker. Maybe that's what they would have done anyway. But, oh, yeah, their quarterback is done. Maybe that's why they didn't, run a play. They just went straight to the kicker. I don't know. Did you – that was my thought. I was like, well, that's weird. I thought they were going to run the ball at least once.
That was always going to be the kicker.
Yeah.
Sean Payton he did not know Bo Nix was hurt at that point.
Okay.
He said he found out after the game, like when everybody's celebrating and he went up to Nix and he kind of grabbed him and Nix was like, whoa. And they had a conversation. Are you all right? And he goes, I think I heard something. And then they got back into the locker room. So he didn't actually know when Bo Nix was – I don't even think Bo Nix technically knew exactly what was wrong with him when he was doing all that, those last 2 plays of the game that you're talking about. So,
yeah,
but that's just the way coaches are. So let them have their whatever, man. If it makes you happy and you think you're getting an advantage, go ahead, man.
By the way, Lippy in chat says Rockets miss CP3. Like, he's available. I guess they have no interest in him, but if
he wasn't completely washed, it might. But he's like completely a turnstile on defense, man. And
yeah,
I don't know that you could mess around with CP3 anymore.
He's still on the Clippers injury report, right? Like, is he still appearing at the games? Is he still dressing? Is he still there? Is he with the team? Oh no, literally it says not with team. Okay, he's not. He's on the report, but he's not. Yeah, but that's how bad Chris Paul is. How desperate Houston is. He's got ties there, and still they have no interest. Apparently, not even kicking the tires. You can get him for nothing, and they're like, nah, we're good. Okay. Speaking of Chris Paul, Clippers taking on the Bulls. 225.5 is the total here. Chicago's a 3.5-point favorite. Big deal is that Kawhi is out with his knee. Chris Paul is no longer with the team. That's been the case for a while now. Bogdanovich has been out for a while. He's still out. Beal is still out. For the Bulls, Zach Collins has been out for a while with that toe, his right first toe. That's the big toe, right? Just saying it's the right first toe. Okay. Josh Giddey may come back from his hamstring. We've not seen him for several weeks, potentially arriving back in the lineup. Patrick Williams also is questionable with an ankle. How we feeling about the Bulls and the Clippers? We know without Kawhi, this is Jim Harden. We talked about the point guards before. A lot of the expensive point guards, like the matchup against Chicago as well. Harden, to me, is one of the better big spends, but there's a lot of good big spends at point guard. How much do you prioritize him?
Yeah, he's pretty high on my priority list for this slate. I just without Kawhi and in this matchup, he should be able to thrive pretty well. There's a lot of little things that Chicago gives up that he can take advantage of, and he's going to be spearhead the offense here. So I think he's a big time priority for the spend up guys, and he's one of the only ones in this game. On the Chicago side, maybe Kobe White. Without Kawhi, you're getting a defense that's a little bit easier to attack. And James Harden's already a pretty poor defender, and now you're going to get him taking on the bulk of the offense. So he'll be even more nonchalant on defense. So maybe Kobe White can attack in there, and we'll see if Giddey plays or not and all that. So I wouldn't play Giddey, but I think it could help if he sits again. It could help some other guys, but James Harden's the priority here for me in this game in general. We're seeing a lot of ownership here. I'm seeing some on Zubac. I think he's okay for a center only. He's nothing to jump off the charts to me, but without Kawhi, he's going to get a boost too, but just not as big as Harden.
So Kobe White, it seems like his minutes restriction is off. He played 30 minutes last game, but that was a blowout. In the last 3 minutes, he was off the court, so he would have played 33. He played 33 prior to that against Brooklyn. Before that, it was like 30 seemed like his cap. So I think he's going to be able to play 32, 33 going forward. You mentioned Giddey. And what do we have as far as his projection? Is there a projection reflect of that? We're at 30 as a median projection for White, but I do think there's a chance he gets an extra minute or two there if everything goes his way. And I guess it wouldn't hurt that Giddey does not arrive back. We're expecting him, if he plays, to be limited 25 minutes. So certainly you can't play him. One of the worst plays on the slate, when you consider point per dollar, and he kind of mucks up Chicago to some extent. Harden, very clearly the most popular play in this game. Zoo's pretty popular too. We like centers against Vukovic. 7K on DK, 20% currently is the ownership projection on that on DK. Difference on FanDuel, well, Harden, 50% for Harden on FanDuel. That is a big boy number on a big slate with a lot of good point guards, shooting guards. Zubac, 26%, and nobody on Chicago getting any acknowledgement. And especially if Giddey comes back, he doesn't get enough to be able to be somebody you can roster, but he eats off other people and everybody else loses their ceiling. So we know the situation when a star comes back, everybody else is overpriced and Giddey's overpriced because he's not going to get full minutes. So for me, I just crossed Chicago out. I guess you could play Vuk, but no, I'm up. And if you're running a bunch of lineups, but Chicago's a cross out, full cross out if Giddey's back is basically what I'm saying. The long and short of it. Anything else you want to say as far as the Clippers and the Bulls?
Move on.
We have no winners just yet. And Chop, sometimes you participate, sometimes you don't. I guess you haven't had a lean, but I don't know if are you just compiling your guesses? You're going to fire them all. It's an interesting strategy.
That's my strategy is to try to get a read on it before I start overanalyzing the first two clues, which sometimes are completely meaningless. So now I want to get a good visual. I want to get a bigger picture. So maybe I'll wait till the third clue and then start dropping some guesses.
Mark Williams, by the way, I saw you talking about it in chat. It's all Chad talking about. Hey, Chad, hit that like button. Do all the things. Hit all the buttons to help us keep the lights on, and turn on notifications. Subscribe to the channel so you know when we go live. Mark Williams officially available. Jalen Green, no surprise, is going to play with limited minutes off the bench per coach Ott. Yeah, you're definitely not playing Jalen Green today. The third clue, Chop, get ready for this one. The third clue, it's John Elway. John Elway, yeah. So it's Knife, Corporate, and John Elway. That is your first three clues for today's Television Tuesday. It is not The Resident or Poker Face or Mad Men or Westworld or Shark Tank or The Pits or The Chair Company. A lot of guesses coming on through. It is none of those just yet. All right.
Did you watch Chair Company, Dean?
I did. There's a second season coming. I guess I'll watch it. Yeah. What did you think of it? It's fine. It's
I had to power through it, man.
Yeah.
I had to power through it, but
did you like I Think You Should Leave?
Which one is that?
The Netflix, like the skit show that the guy Robinson, he was in the show.
Oh no, I haven't even watched that. I've seen a couple of clips from him, and so I know he's a funny guy.
You've probably seen the meme with the hot dog. I'm sure you've probably seen that before.
He also did another show right before this, something about Detroit, and he's an ad agent guy.
Yes.
That was kind of funny. So I gave this one a crack. If you're scrolling a lot while the show's on, it's probably not that great. And I was scrolling a lot.
The Detroiters is the name of that show.
That was pretty funny.
Which only had a couple seasons, but from what I've seen of it, I haven't seen the entire show. Is very good. And Sam Richardson, everything that guy's in, he elevates. He's really, really good. Tim Robinson's the guy. I think you should leave. It's hit and miss, as a lot of skit shows are, right? Like you're going to find some good SNL skits. You're going to find some bad SNL skits. It's just how it goes. But the good ones are really, really good. It's worth checking out on the Netflix. And I guess I'll watch the second season of what is the name of this HBO show again that I just threw out there? Chair Company. Yeah, it's a wild concept. I guess I'll stick with it. But you're right. It's not one where I felt obligated and glued to the screen at all times. Next game is Minnesota and Utah. 238.5 is the total. Minnesota is a 13 point favorite, depending on what book you're looking at as far as who's in and who's out in this one. Minnesota fully healthy, right? Nas is good to go with his shoulder. Terrence Shannon doesn't really matter. Utah, no Kevin Love. He's got a rest. Lauri Markkanen still with his illness is out. Sensabaugh is out. He got an illness too. And Shibwe is still in the G League. So by my count here, Chop, we're down to 10. We are projecting Nurkic to play. So this is what I found, and I'm not taking credit for it. There's a channel that we have here within the company, a Slack channel, where all the projection guys talk, and I somehow I'm in that channel, but I just mostly lurk. Very rarely will I chime in, but I was invited to it. And Jim Turvey basically said since December 1st, Chop, since December 1st, this is the games that they allowed Nurkic to play. They allowed him to play against Houston, New York, OKC, Memphis, the Lakers, Orlando, Denver, Detroit, the Spurs twice, Boston, Portland, OKC, Cleveland. Now they refused to let him play against Dallas 3 times, Brooklyn, Memphis, the Clippers, Golden State, Charlotte, and Chicago. So it seems like he's more likely to play against the good teams where it doesn't matter if he plays, right? And the losing is going to take care of it. The tank's going to be organic. They're going to lose no matter what. And they tend to sit him against teams they could accidentally beat, right? They're 14-point dogs here as Minnesota. They should probably lose this game, right? Whether he plays or he doesn't play. They're down to 10 live bodies. And the tell is if he's starting, he's playing. And if he's not starting, he's not playing. So you'll have the tell. You won't have it until 8:30, give or take, when the starting lineup comes out. But if he doesn't play, they'll be down to 9. So, again, no marketing. Do you have a read on this? Do you have a thought on this as far as the Jazz and the T-Wolves? Are you planning? I mean, it's not that Nurkic is cheap. He's got DMPs and the price is not moving. But he's only got an upside when he's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he plays, but I don't know. I know this much. I know that, the price tag is climbing, but when he does play, they've been turning him loose lately. He's been really good. So the price tag's, for a reason there. So I think they probably let him play. I don't see why not. Now, he hasn't had a good history necessarily against Gobert. That's a tough matchup for him. That's a really lengthy, tall guy and Nurkic likes to work in the paint a lot. So it's not an easy matchup, but I think he plays. Don't know how effective he's going to be here, but he has been very effective when they have let him play. So there's pieces here. There's a lot of ownership tonight on Walter Clayton on that side, Walter Clayton Jr. on that side of the ball. And I think that's deserved. I don't think I'll be over the field on Clayton, but I think he deserves to be up there. He's cheap and he's going to have an opportunity tonight. And he can be a pretty good performer. It's the Minnesota side, Dean, that I'm really that's the side I want. This is just a good matchup, period. One baseline is how good is your offense during the typically how good has your offense been? And Minnesota averages about 120 a game. Pretty decent offense. But what's your team total tonight? Well, we're creeping up on 130. So it's almost 9 to 10 points higher. So that tells you the kind of matchup we're going to get. That tells you a guy like Ant Edwards could really go off here. Love Anthony Edwards. I like DiVincenzo. He's getting no ownership. If you're going to give me some extra points tonight, he's going to be one of the guys who probably has a good shot at getting those points. He's a really good 3-point shooter. They're going to give up 3-pointers in Utah, so you got that. If Naz Reid they say he's available, but I don't know. I guess he's healthy enough. So he's another guy who can hit the 3-point shot, and this is a good matchup for that. So I'm definitely – and Jaden McDaniels, Utah plays – at a pretty high pace. What that does is creates a lot of opportunities defensively to rack up some stats in those categories. And Jaden McDaniels is definitely one of those kind of guys that can get really active with the hands. So I think all these guys are in play. I'll probably be underweight on Randall, though, because I'm overweight on the other guys. So I'm underweight on Randall, but Minnesota side looks really juicy here.
Yeah, I like Randall plenty. It definitely seems like a matchup. He loves to take advantage of terrible players and terrible opponents. So he can certainly thrive. We've seen Edwards, from the beginning of the year, talked about how do you get excited about playing inferior opponents on a random Tuesday night? Well, he's I just want to put up career highs against them. This seems like a spot where you can put up a career high against the Jazz. To your point, the Jazz, the worst team defensive rating on the season, 122.3 by almost 1.5 points. And the offense for Minnesota is top 6 offensive efficiency. If I have a concern about Naz Reid, it's that the blowout would hurt him, right? Because he doesn't come into the game. If it's a massive blowout, he doesn't come into the game until in the second half, middle of the third. And if it's like a 25, 30-point blowout, they're not going to – so he doesn't really get it. He wouldn't get his normal allotted run if the game blows out. And he's not doing the blowing out for a bigger portion of the game. So he would actually lose minutes in that scenario. But certainly, if you're running 150 or running 20, you consider Naz. I imagine I'm going to have a T-Wolf on probably every team, most likely. Like you, I like DiVincenzo. I like Edwards. I like McDaniels. I'm fine. I'm good with Randall. I'm fine with Gobert. And so you mentioned Clayton, and he's popping to some degree right now. He is blowout proof, right? We're down to 9 or 10, depending on what they do with Nurkic. I do think he plays no matter what. Clayton, if this game's a 70-point lead in the fourth quarter, Clayton's out there. Like he's definitely one of the guys out there closing. If you just kind of look at their roster, what if Nurkic doesn't start and they start Filipowski? Would we consider Filipowski? Because that would be them basically saying we're down to 9 and we're not playing Nurkic, and Filipowski is clearly their best big. And the counterpoint, whenever Filipowski starts, you start whoever plays against Filipowski. So then all of a sudden you got to get into Gobert, even though he's offensively deficient. Yeah. And the other argument against Clayton, Chop, and you mentioned him, is the opportunity cost at point guard, shooting guard, because point guard is really, really good tonight. So that's kind of the conflict I have going on in my head with Clayton. Is that something you've considered? Because again, we run down a whole bunch of good, point guard, shooting guard spend ups, and there is a legit opportunity cost. If he gives you 21, 22, it doesn't kill you, but it also might prevent you from multiple, 60 plus point games at point guard.
Yeah, that's definitely something you got to consider in your roster construction. As far as the Filipowski thing, also like let's say Nurkic was in and Filipowski was out. You have that scenario, and then the other scenario is Filipowski is in, Nurkic is out. I would be more likely out of those two. I would want to play the Filipowski with Nurkic out more than I would want to play Nurkic in this matchup with Filipowski out, if that was even conceivable, which it's not going to be because Filipowski is going to play. But I like his game in this matchup better than Nurkic's. So yeah, I would definitely play Filipowski here. Yeah,
I would too if he's starting somehow and Nurkic is not. I don't think that'll be the scenario, but I mean Filipowski would have to play a ton. No winners, by the way, on their third clue. Knife, Corporate, John Elway. Chop, it is not winning time. You still have a couple more guesses banked. You can fire those off whenever you'd like. It's not The Ranch or The Office or Outer Range or Home Improvement or Yellowstone or 1883.
Outer Range was solid.
I don't know what Outer Range is or was. I don't think I'm aware of that. Outer Range? Is that a sci-fi show?
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
It's got a great cast too.
Was that an Amazon show?
A what?
Amazon?
Prime, yeah, Prime. It had Josh Brolin is the main guy,
yes.
And his two sons are. I don't know if they were popular when they shot this thing, but they've gone on to be like very popular since then. So it was a good show. I don't think they're going to have any more though, but it was really solid. It was interesting.
I remember people were upset when, at least somebody I knew, it was upset when it got canceled. But
it did get canceled.
I'm pretty sure it only had like 2 seasons. Yeah. So, and people were bummed that it only had 2 seasons, but I never got into it. We'll give you the fourth clue. The fourth clue is Star. Knife, Corporate, John Elway, Star. Get in that Discord channel. Win yourself a week free of RG Premium. Tell me what television show I'm talking about. Anything else as far as Minnesota and Utah? We got 3 more games to go. Do you want to scoot along or anything else you want to hammer home with the T-Wolves, who I believe have the highest team total on the board, 126? It's got to be the highest, right? Yeah.
Easily. Moving on down the road, though.
Raptors versus whatever is left of the Warriors. I say that, but the Warriors actually have a lot of players. They have a big roster. They have a bloated roster. If you missed it, Jimmy Buckets, in his revenge game got hurt last night versus the Heat. He's out for a long time with his ACL. Draymond Green, let me just refresh here. Is he just being listed as questionable? Am I making that up, Chop? Wasn't he deemed like, we're going to sit him tonight, we're going to play him tomorrow? Was that a beat reporter that said that? I don't remember who said that. But he is officially questionable. He's still questionable on the injury report. with his ankle. I assume he plays back half of a back-to-back. Al Horford, he's too old. He would combust if he played 2 games in the span of 24 hours. Will Richard is questionable. He's got a butt chop. I don't know if you know that. He's got a butt. He's got the old glute, so he's questionable. And Guy Santos is questionable with an ankle. As far as Toronto, there's no RJ Barrett. There's no CMB. Colin Murray-Boyles, who's been starting at the 5. Jakob Poeltl has been out at the 5 as well. Their number 1 center. He's got his back. So we're projecting Sandro Mamakhelishvili to draw the start here for Toronto. Probably see some Scotty Barnes at the 5 as well, I would imagine, at some point in this game. How are we feeling about the Raptors and the Warriors?
Yeah, it's all about the value in this game, I think, for the Toronto side. We're getting some ownership, obviously, on the Golden State side, a little bit on the Toronto side, too. Ingram's fine. 10 to 15% ownership, probably. Quickly, 10 to 15% ownership. It's okay. I got to think Golden State's defense is probably a little bit lacking tonight in general. So if you want to attack that angle, Scotty Barnes is always a threat. But I think you nailed it with Sandro Mamakhelishvili.
You nailed it too.
I think that's the guy here at 5,400, 19, probably somewhere in the range of 15 to 20% ownership, which isn't terrible at that good price tag against a weakened team. Not bad. I think that's fine. But clearly the star of this thing is the Golden State side with the Jimmy Butler injury and stuff. Podziemski put up 24 real life last night en route to a pretty solid game.
You're a pot hater typically, right? Don't you like? I feel like you hate him.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I don't like him, but Jimmy Butler's out, so he's gonna get. Damn it, we got a winner, Dean. I didn't get another guess off, but he's gonna get some run here with Butler out. I think he's fine. He's actually pretty good, but I mean, now you got to weigh it against almost 50% ownership, depending on what contest you're in. So you got to go that route. Moses Moody is a little bit of less upside kind of guy to me, but a little bit cheaper. He's fine. The one I don't get, I don't even know if I put this on the survey or if I need to change it, but as the day went on, the one I don't get now is Buddy Hyde. Like that's a decent amount of ownership for a guy that I think could literally not get any extra run, any extra field goal attempts or anything just because Butler's up. Buddy Hyde still projecting pretty low, but yet getting a pretty good chunk of ownership. I don't like that one at all. So
hit refresh, Chop. We got him at 4%.
Oh, he's at 4% now?
Yeah, hit the refresh button. We're giving him 15 minutes and about a 14-point median projection.
Okay, all right. That must have been a very recent thing right there because we were giving him quite a bit of ownership here about an hour and a half ago. Yeah, I wasn't on him, so but then again, now Dean, if Will Richard is out, now we change things up. We change things up a little bit. So I don't know. I have to play that one by ear. That's a fluid thing. And Curry, I don't know, man. He's just not really. To me, he's never really an exciting player anymore. There's occasional upside, not a ton of it. There's a floor now these days, and what's his motivation now? Is how disappointed is he? I don't know. So Curry doesn't really jump off the page to me.
The vibes just seem bad in Golden State all season long, right? Like historically, they've been a good vibes team. The vibes seems to just seem bad all year, and the Butler thing certainly can't help.
The bad vibes started when Draymond punched Jordan Poole. That was the beginning of the. You look back on it, Dean, and think to yourself, how in the world did that team beat Boston to win an NBA title when they did? Remember that? Like, they beat Boston. Boston was very good, and they were just starting to come into their own. Golden State, I can't believe they had one more in them like that, but they did. And that was it. And that was obviously the beginning of the end, but the bad vibe started when Draymond assaulted Jordan Poole, man.
And by the way, the Warriors, despite Butler being out, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 guys on their roster. Now, Kuminga probably doesn't play. I assume they're not testing him off. Maybe emergency, break the glass. But that would be 13. And there's a chance, right? Santos doesn't play. There's a chance Richard doesn't play. We do have an if-then set up, but the if-then that's set up is that what if Green, Santos, and Richard don't play all three? And I'm of the opinion that Draymond's playing tonight. So that's a large majority of like minutes to be delegated. So I don't necessarily believe this, but if this happens, Hield would project for 28 minutes. So maybe that's what the Hield thing was before. But that's under the scenario of Green, Santos, and Richard all being out, which I don't think is happening. Could be wrong. It's later on at night. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, but I feel reasonably confident that Draymond does play tonight. Shout out to, like you said, we did have a winner in the Discord, one of our regular winners, Blink-182 Rue is really, really good at this. Start your conspiracy theories. But shout out to Blink. We will drop the fifth clue here, Chop. You're still playing out the string for today's Television Tuesday. It is Inject, Knife, Corporate, John Elway, Star, and Inject. That is your 5 clues. 2 more games to go. Crunch time coming up in about 15 minutes or so. We got Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth jumping on with Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, as well as TJ Zwarych. One of the greatest DFS players in all is Saskatchewan, the greatest player in Saskatoon, DFS-wise. Next game up, Chop. We're moving on. I think so. Yeah. Give it a move. Lakers in Denver, 227.5. That's the total. Lakers are 2.5-point favorites here in Denver. Who's in? Who's out for this one? Well, this is important. Lakers are really healthy, with the exception of one person, no Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is that calf. We've not seen him for a while. Denver on the injury report, but expected to play. Probable Aaron Gordon with his hamstring. Probable THJ, Tim Hardaway Jr. He's expected to play with his knee. The Joker, still no Nikola Jokic. He's out with his knee. Jamal Murray is officially on the injury report with his knee, but I'm assuming he's going to play. He is probable. No Jonas Valanciunas. Have not seen him for a while with his calf. Christian Brown is out with his ankle. We're expecting Murray, Pickett, Jones, Watson, and Gordon to start here against the Lakers. Luka is an incredible big spend. If you have the money for it, sure, by all means, go for it. Jamal Murray has been awesome, just spectacular, just doing everything here for Denver, and it's not a very imposing defense on the other side. How are we feeling about the Lakers and the Nuggets?
Yep, feeling better about the Denver side here than the LA side, but for LA, can never go. Never going to talk anybody off the Luka Doncic cliff if they want to go that route. He's expensive, but he's always really good. And LeBron, don't look now, but he's actually starting to pick up his fantasy performance quite a bit lately. So he's getting his legs back under him, and he's looking much better now. The guy I would have most interest in on the LA tonight, if I wanted to go that route, was DeAndre Ayton. I think that the price tag and upside is probably more in my wheelhouse than the more expensive guys I just mentioned. So it's just a GPP only play, which is all I'm playing tonight anyway. Large field, super large field GPP. For the Denver side, here's, Peyton Watson's been good, but he's priced up as such, and he's fine, though. Not going to talk you out of that one. Jamal Murray, been excellent, under these circumstances. I do want to attack the Lakers defense as much as I can, so I do like Jamal Murray here. I actually will be over the field on Jamal Murray. I think that's a pretty low ownership for him. And it's a pretty decent and in-line ownership for Aaron Gordon. I do agree with that. And I think I'll be over the field at 6,700 on DraftKings. Definitely like some Aaron Gordon, too. Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, really great duo under these circumstances with the injuries for Denver. So this is a good game. I want to attack that LA defense. And now I want to attack the Denver defense, too.
Ownership-wise, most popular play in this game on DK is Aaron Gordon. Good price, good role, good matchup. 31% ownership on DK. We're seeing Murray at 14, Luka at 12. So I like both those numbers. I would try to get over both those numbers if they hold in some way. On FanDuel, similar as far as Gordon, 31, 32%. Watson is 15%, Murray 10, Luka 10. So, and the prices are just tighter over on FanDuel. The Warriors guys that look like much better bargains, like Pods and Moody. The salary savers are not as much salary savers on DK. Pods, by the way, is projecting to be the most popular player tonight, at least amongst the optimal stuff that I ran. 49% on DK. He just kind of makes stuff work. That's kind of I ran 111. Don't ask me why I picked that number, and he is close to hitting my cap, 77%. The ceiling I made it at 79. Let's see. So how much do you think are you gonna get more than 10%, Luka? 10, 15%?
I don't think so, Dean, because the upper echelon price range players are really good. The ones who are like 2K cheaper than him. So I'm thinking that's more the route I'm taking as opposed to Luka, who I think is fine. But I think you can find one of these other guys who is like 1,500 to 2K cheaper that is going to match him tonight. One of them is. So I think I'm under on that.
Raw points. Let's see. We have Luka scoring 3 more than Harden. So Harden's a better point per dollar play. Ownership's going to reflect that as well. Yeah, Maxey. These are all point guards. That's kind of the point I was talking about. The raw points on this slate. The top guys: Luka, Harden, Maxey, Murray, Edwards. Right, point guard, shooting guard, guards. Basically, the first 5. I feel like you're probably supposed to have one of those guys on your team. Like every team you make, probably pick one of those guys. You could possibly get 2. You don't have to. And of course, that would hurt the rest of your lineup to some degree. But yeah, the one of the big talking points in the slate is elite guards, elite point guards. Anything else you want to say as far as the Lakers and Denver?
Nope.
I realize that my light is not as strong as it normally is. Maybe it's my backdrop that's it's not a light backdrop as well. So yeah, I didn't fire up. Am I fading away here, Chopper? The lighting's fine. My face is extra red now.
You're blending into D Wade. You're morphing into D Wade, man.
If you guys aren't aware, it's the worst. Well, we were talking about a pre-show. The worst one is the soccer player.
Ronaldo.
The Ronaldo one is just so terrible. This one's pretty bad too. And Wade was really bad.
Okay, Dean.
Yeah.
Both of them in their prime, D Wade or Harden.
I'm going to be a little bit biased because I'm a Heat fan. You're going to call me and say I'm biased, but so the finals that what Wade had alongside Shaq was one of the best finals of all time. Like people don't really talk about. God, I can't remember who's that was against. Was that against San Antonio?
Mavericks, right?
Was it Dallas? The one they won. They won.
The Mavericks.
Shaq was on the team, but it was D Wade's team, and D Wade had one of the greatest finals of all time. And that doesn't necessarily define his career, but that is his crowning achievement, I would say. I would say Wade, and like people are probably going to say Wade. I think. Let's see what the chat says. We can give him a poll. But because Wade's got more W's, right? But also was playing alongside LeBron for a while, which certainly doesn't hurt. But do you have a take on this? Because obviously Harden's never won. He's one of those guys like Chris Paul, and fair or unfair, it's all a lot of it's not out of your hands. Do you think he never won a championship? Do you think it's Harden? I think it's Wade.
I'm biased also, but I know it's Wade. I mean, okay. I'm not foolish. Like he was really good. Dwayne Wade was really good and doesn't really get respected enough in that way. But he was really good. So I do remember that finals too you're talking about.
One of the best, just an incredible finals.
So wasn't like I want to say like Dallas was at some point about to like go up in the series to a point where I think it would have been over with. I forget what it was, what the thing was, what the games were. I'm trying to recall. And even if we're talking about the same, and then they made Miami made this massive fourth quarter comeback in one of the games. And from there, they just ripped off like 4 in a row or something like that. Like, yeah, Dwayne Wade was the real deal, man.
I think Dallas was up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But, yeah, Dwayne Wade was good, man. Really good. It's a shame. It's a shame LeBron went there and ruined Wade's legacy, man.
I know what you're doing. Yes. Oh, boy. All right. Do you want to tell the people about Pick Labs? We have one more game to go. We have crunch time coming in about 10 minutes or so. We might be able to answer a couple questions in chat as well. We'll see. We have one more game. But Pick Labs, the newest RotoGrinders feature that lets you scan the best player prop and pick them bets in seconds. Everything is broken down for you. Edges, win rates, to value. It is full on dummy proof. Even I can do it. It's a clean board showing which plays actually stand out across sportsbooks and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. You see something you like, PickLabs will actually build the slip for you in seconds. It'll take you straight to the book of your choice. PickLabs, rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. That is how you get involved. I assume there's a link either in chat or a link in the description. Again, check out PickLabs, rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. Let's tell the people about today's television Tuesday before we knock out this last game. Chop, I don't know if you saw the answer or not. All the clues are out there. Knife, Corporate, John Elway, Star, and Inject. We did get a winner, a free week of RG Premium. That was Blink 182 Rue. Knife was in reference to, it's kind of a double meaning because knives are used in this show, but I guess the star, one of the stars, last name, Billy Butcher. Billy Butcher, the Butcher. Corporate.
Okay.
It's kind of a corporate satire of the show at times. Vought International is the corporation. John Elway. What's John Elway? Well, I was trying to think of athletes that are number 7. 7's very important in the show. The 7 is the name of the 7 heroes, if you will. It's the name of the group. And John Elway is the first one that I thought of for like number 7. Could have went Mickey Mantle. Not a lot of 7s. Not a lot of great number 7s in the history of athletes for whatever reason. So John Elway was just telling you 7. That's what we're hearing about John Elway. Star was a double clue because Homelander, Homelander, the star of the show, one of the stars, the actor's name is Anthony Starr. And there's also Starlight. That's Aaron Moriarty. So double clue with Star gave you both Anthony Starr and Starlight. And clue number 5 was an inject. You inject V. V is the deal you inject to give yourself some superhero powers. And this is the last season, the final season of The Boys, Chop. I'm not sure if you're aware. Starting up like a month or so. And I think you're a Boys guy, right? I think you watched the show. I feel like we talked about it before.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Well, listen. I know it's the last season. I'm waiting for it. Have you seen Gen V, though, the spinoff?
I haven't started that. I feel like I should. I'm told it's pretty good, but I have not seen it. It's good?
It's not bad. I mean, it's, if you like The Boys, you're going to...
Similar world.
Yeah, there's some crossover. There's some crossover for sure.
Yeah, like some of the characters from season 4 were also on Gen V. I just didn't know. Like some of the new characters that popped up, there was a crossover that like you didn't necessarily have to be aware of. But yeah, I'm definitely going to fire up. And I'm sure at some point I'll get to Gen V. Is it Gen V? Is that what it's called? Yeah, and that's going to keep going forward as far as I know. Miami, the Heat, they are playing the back half of a back-to-back. They're in Sacramento. 237.5 is the total. The Heat are 3-point favorites. At the Kings, who's in and who's out for this one? Well, Miami, Tyler Hero still has that rib, or I think multiple ribs. He's got more than one. He's not playing basketball tonight. Jaime Jaquez on the injury report, but available, good to go with his knee. Jovic, Miami just lists everybody. Jovic is fine. He's available with his illness. Pele Larson, he's got a finger. He's playing with it. He's available. Kel'el Ware is new. He's got a hamstring tightness, so he is questionable. Keegan Murray still out for the Kings. Nothing else new for Sacramento. Do want to monitor those Sabonis minutes. Are they going to get creeping up at any point? I don't know. We saw Precious Achiuwa have his best game of the season, I think, in a revenge game against New York. Will he revenge against Miami? Probably not. Probably not playing Precious Achiuwa. I would imagine we get a few more minutes of Sabonis, but something to keep an eye on. How you feeling about the Heat and the Kings?
Feeling pretty good about it. This is an excellent late night hammer here. So Sacramento, you're getting the pace up playing Miami. That's a good thing. When I look at the Sacramento, the meaningful players on this team, the guys who are going to project well and typically do well, if there's one player in the NBA who is tailor-made to thrive in a more paced up environment, it's definitely Russell Westbrook. He gets by on energy, and so I like Russell Westbrook tonight. A decent price tag, fits that mid-range build, 7,700. Yeah, he could definitely thrive in with some extra pace here. So I like Russ quite a bit. I'm not, the rest of it is a little bit off. You mentioned Sabonis's minutes. Can't really take a shot on that just yet, I don't think. DeRozan's just the mid-range king again for the I don't know what it is, 11th straight year leading the NBA in mid-range jumpers this year. So crazy, but I'm not playing that though. Levine is very marginal. So it's Westbrook on that side of it. Miami's got, I think, some good players. Norman Powell, I'm going to go back to that well on Norman Powell. Wasn't great last night, but I think this is fine. Going back to Jaime Jaquez, said it last night. I think he had a pretty good night last night. Still 5,500, still nice cheap salary. Going back to Jaime Jaquez, I think Bam is in a spot here. This could be a good game out of Bam. This is a big time points in the paint allowed defense for Sacramento.
You see Bam last night? Horrendous.
But it's daily fantasy. I got to wipe that from my memory and go back to him. So and they're going to give up a lot of rebounds. Sacramento is too, and so Bam could at least get there and have a floor with the rebounds. Wiggins is okay and Mitchell is okay, but it's really for me, Jaquez number 1, Norman Powell number 2, and Bam number 3 based on price tags for Miami.
Chop, do you believe in the you can't play jump shooters in the back half of a back-to-back theory?
I think it's just like anything in DFS. If it's extrapolated over enough time, sure, but just one little sample here. I mean, I'd have to look and see how many. Is this a 3 and 4? Is this a 4 and 6? Or I don't know. I don't know all that, but I do believe that definitely matters, though.
Yeah, I mean,
to some extent.
I don't like absolutes, and it sounds like that's what you're saying too. I wouldn't absolutely not play Powell because he played yesterday. Is the point? Yeah, probably not. If I could hit a button that
Powell. So, you're talking about Powell?
Yeah, I was just thinking about.
He can also, if that shot's not falling, he has the ability to get to the rim too. So he's got some outs. A lot of guys don't have outs. Like if your legs are tired and you're not hitting your threes, you're just not going to be effective. At least he has outs. He can still score at the rim, but he's not Duncan Robinson or anything.
No. And I was just thinking about Bam, maybe that's his back still. He had that back earlier in the year, and he's not on the injury report. I guess he's fine, but
just say it, Dean. Say what you're thinking.
Well,
it's the girlfriend's fault.
Is that what we're doing? That's where he's the only guy in the NBA with a girlfriend?
He might be the only guy in the NBA that's truly in love, Dean. That matters.
Oh, come on. That can't be true.
That matters.
Only one guy in the entire league's truly in love. And good for him. So you're saying he's not playing as hard because he's happy? He's just happy and in love off the court?
Takes the edge off, man.
Impress her? If she's, you could play that angle too.
No, I mean, it's not about that. It's about some guy. It's just some guy. Those pheromones are kicking in. They're in love, and they're just not thinking about basketball or their job. And then some guys do want to show off, so that's a different story. But maybe Bam's more of the got the butterflies floating around his head, thing. I don't know, man.
Mid-shot, he's thinking about Asia Wills. It's muscle memory. He says what he's taking shots for his whole life. He's just taking his shots, and he's not. I feel reasonably confident he's not thinking about his girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a question for you, Dean. Since that was the last game, we wrapped that up.
You got plumbed?
I see Butthole Jenkins in chat. What's up, Butthole? Appreciate you coming in, man. Always a fan. But he's asking, this is like the third person I've seen ask about King of the Court tonight. I have no idea what that is, Dean, but if you can enlighten me on what King of the Court is, we could help the people out.
I believe that's a DK Sportsbook thing. I do not have access to DK Sportsbook, so I cannot play it. But it's an interesting thought process because I believe you're supposed to guess who gets the most fantasy points amongst everybody in the slate, and there's a pool. Like, say it's $1 million. I don't know what it is. And the number of people that have a certain player divided up. Now, you probably shouldn't pick Luka because even though he's the most likely to be the king of court, if you happen to hit it, you're going to be splitting it with more friends than you want to be splitting it with. So I'm fairly certain that's the concept. I was just informed that apparently DK now has the Pick 6 live in Florida. I don't know what that is, but I'm curious to see what that is.
You don't know what Pick 6? Pick 6 is underdog and prize picks.
Okay. So I thought it was peer-to-peer stuff. Am I wrong in saying that?
I think they did away with a lot of that peer-to-peer stuff.
Okay.
I think it's more now against the house. Don't quote me on that. It used to be a totally different setup, and they changed it about a year and a half ago. But it's the same concept, though. You're not getting any extra payouts, basically. Very, very little extra stuff you're getting.
So, like, king of the court with 7 games. Again, I'm not your guy for this, but, like, you're not going to pick Luka. You shouldn't. You probably shouldn't pick it. I think you could pick, like, Şengün and, like, Edwards. Like, you could pick those guys, and they'll be a little less owned, but I don't know if we have a tool for that. Maybe somebody in crunch time can inform you. Somebody else.
Maxey? Is Maxey a good one?
I think he's going to be reasonably popular.
Well,
he probably picked the court last night.
Okay. Jamal Murray, how about that? He can't be that popular with all these other guys out there.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I don't know how much game theory comes into play as far as does the pool, does everybody else playing understand the game theory? Because you just really shouldn't pick the first 2 or 3 top guys. But realistically, it's probably one of 10 dudes. Giddey, by the way, is out for Chicago, so nothing new with the Bulls. Basically what it has been for a while. Williams is also out for Chicago too, for what it's worth. So I think White's in play.
I like White.
We've seen his minutes come up a little bit.
Yeah.
Chance he plays 32 or so in the absence of Giddey. All right, we have crunch time coming in right now. I saw somebody in chat speculating if I've ever shoveled snow. And does anybody want to guess the answer to that?
I'm going to go no. I'm going to go no.
No. I've been in some places where, it's been cold, but I've never had to shovel snow. I did have to scrape like snow off a car, and I did not know what I think I had to fire up YouTube or something like that for that. I did a tutorial because not a lot of snow experience. When I lived in South Carolina, I think that's when I needed that. But I also see that Nashville is going to get pummeled. I don't know if you've seen this, Roth, or people in the Nashville guys are hitting you up, but was it 17, 18, 19 inches of snow expected for Nashville?
Yeah, and it's not just Nashville. I mean, this whole snowstorm, ice in Texas, snow through the central U.S. all the way to the East Coast, like it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. So, people are probably sliding into your DMs a lot. Hopefully stay safe and stay warm. It looks like I saw a graphic. It looks like a big portion, a big chunk of the country. It looks like it's going to be pretty freaking cold. Kirkwood has definitely shoveled snow. You have some snow shoveling experience, I would imagine.
You bet your ass I do. My girl makes me shovel her car out too every storm.
Oh jeez, it's a lot of. Is that a process? It doesn't seem like you know a snow guy.
No snow guy.
You're the snow guy.
And as a kid, I would definitely shovel for money, like $20 a driveway or something, walkway.
You would get $20 a driveway as a kid? That's pretty good. Back when I was little Kirk, when I owed a bookie probably a bunch of money at that point in time, and so that's how I got to pay him off. 8th grade, you got to go hit up the driveways. That and the paper route. TJ, you got to have some snow shoveling experience. You're probably a master at this point.
Yeah, lots of snow shoveling experience. I don't know that I think I said snow shoveling experience. I don't do it as much anymore because it hurts my lower back to do it, and I actually am dealing with a little bit of a lower back throw right now, more of a hip thing. But no shoveling for me right now, despite it snowing like crazy here at the moment. I've been sick, dealing with the flu, having some hip problems, and it's an indoor time for me.
Yeah, hit up Mr. Plow. That name again, Mr. Plow. He'll take care of it for you. Before one person got my reference. That's good enough for me. Isn't that what they called chop back in the day? No, I was thinking Jesus. They might have. Just a coincidence. I was thinking of Homer Simpson when he had his own plowing business. Of course, the Plow Kings try to come in and ruin it, but let's not get into the plow. Yeah,
I had a record out when in high school. It was called 12 Inches of Chop.
That was Snow. So the name of Snow's album was called 12 Inches of Snow. Yeah. All right. Anything else before you? That was the name of the album. That's what it was called.
That's what I based my album on, dude.
I know what. Yeah. Well, you stole his album title, Informer. Remember Informer? All right, Chop. We got to get out of here. We got to make way for crunch time. They got 40 minutes. Anything else you want to say before we step aside and make way for crunch time?
Not really.
Diggy boom boom down.
Yeah, you know Informer, of course. I believe he's Canadian. So shout out Canada. Shout out TJ. All right. That was Chop. I was Dean. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. You got 40 minutes of crunch time starting right now.
Right now, it is the time. Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. It's crunch time to the sharpest minds in the industry, getting you up to lock. Give you some plays, answer some questions, all that. I had no idea what Dean was talking about until Kirk hit the Bicky Boom Boom Bow. And now I was, oh, okay, the song. And now I know. Now I understand what's happening. Thank you for just a subtle fill-in, Kirk.
Welcome.
Yeah, all right. We got TJ in the house. What's up, TJ? How are you?
I've been better, going through it a little bit. I already complained once at the start of the show. I don't got to go back into it, but yeah, just been going through it a little bit. So I'm ready to put my mind into some basketball.
Okay. Well, the first thing when I saw that, I was like, oh man, I hope you feel better. I hope you're doing all right. And my second thought was, I'm going to crush you one-on-one. I'm going to crush you so hard. You're older than I am, and you're still like 26, and you're older than me. You're
32,
done.
but yeah.
You're done. You're toast, bud. Kirk, how you feeling about this slate? It's like a nice, manageable sized slate.
Yeah, it's nice that we get the little. If we're gonna have late games, it's nice to have them all kind of. We're ready for all of them at the same time, as opposed to having to wait around for one game. Yeah. So I was a little disappointed to see that they put them all on the late because I like to try to sleep, but I think it's manageable.
Yeah. I was just looking last minute, seeing if I should go to this Rockets game. I didn't realize we had Wemby in town. I don't know. I might just finish the show, drive down there, scalp a ticket, see what happens. We got to talk about the slate. We've got 36 minutes until we hit lock. I did the math in my head. Are you proud of me? 37, but it's like, there we go, 36 now. Let's dive into it. TJ, you can either give me a rundown on what I've missed and what we're waiting for, or you can dive right into it. Point guard, DraftKings, your choice, dealer's choice.
Yeah, I will dive into kind of the overview, and it's the Golden State Warriors slate, where Jimmy Butler just tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the season. They have Draymond Green listed as questionable right now. Will Richard, is it Richard or Richard? I don't know. I haven't actually watched the Warriors this year. I don't know. But either way, he's projected to start, but is also listed as questionable. Could open up a ton of minutes for a team that's already very shorthanded and underpriced. So we're looking at a few teams in good spots, but most of those teams in good spots are just like finally fully healthy for the first time. And so they're priced more expensive than they should be.
Mm-hmm.
Or teams in bad spots. And the only one that's kind of projecting super great, I think, is, we got a couple of guys individually, but the only team that's projecting super great is the Warriors. And outside of that, it's like, I kind of just want to pick one or two pieces from each of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will begin picking those pieces, and we will begin with Kirkdiese starting us, point guard. DK, what do you like, man?
All right. So point guard is stacked tonight because some of our best plays are right there. So the best play probably is James Harden at 9,900. However, this is a back-to-back where he played yesterday. They did have to travel to Chicago, and so I worry about how good his shooting is going to be. Now, the spot is great because it's against Chicago, and they don't have Kawhi Leonard, which makes a huge difference, and he's just been phenomenal, even when he's had poor shooting games, just because he plays so many minutes. Like if you look at his minutes distribution, it's just crazy. It's 38, 37, 37, 42, 37. So this is like Tyrese Maxey level minutes out of Harden, who just needs to do everything without Kawhi. So I'm playing him. I like him, but I do have that little bit of worry there that he may disappoint, especially with him being chalk. However, the other pivot from him is another awesome play who's only 200 cheaper on DraftKings, and that's Jamal Murray without Jokic. So we know how he's just been going nuts. We like to attack the Lakers with guards. So and their last game was a blowout loss that he only played 25 minutes in. So and kind of an embarrassing loss. So you think he'll be ready to go in this one. If you want to play, like he just say, Steph Curry's in play, it's a back-to-back, and it's kind of a deflating loss last night, right? Losing Jimmy Butler, like they're done. Their team is just done. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know. Like TJ said, there's a couple of those guys are questionable, like Draymond. I lean that they all kind of end up playing, but I don't know. But whoever suits up is going to be basically in the rotation. Kerr likes to play everyone as much as he can. So I guess the safer version would probably be the cheap 4,300, which is just way too cheap. B-Pod, Podzinski, whatever the heck his name is.
Yeah.
He took over last night. Once he went down, he took on a ton of usage. I think he had like 30% usage last night. Yep, that's what he had. 40 fantasy points. He's like they're going to need people to pick up the slack and scoring, everything that Jimmy does, and he's somebody who can score and create his own shot and whatnot. So he's in play, and then Dante DiVincenzo's in play. And like for GPPs, I like this Minnesota Utah game. My favorite play is going to end up being Anthony Edwards tonight. And like we always say, Keontae George, if they keep it close, is a guy who just has a really high ceiling. Now, he doesn't have the highest floor, and he's going to have Jaden McDaniels on him tonight. So I don't know, but he's somebody who can absolutely go nuts at 8,100. So those are my guys.
Okay. TJ, it seems like, we've got some value in pods, but also we've got awesome spend ups at the position. So what are you doing at point?
Yeah, it's the strongest position on the slate. On DraftKings, you're going to be wanting to play 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so in cash, single entry, in most of my 150 lineups, I'm going to be playing 3 point guards. Anybody that has shooting guard eligibility, I'm going to be playing them at shooting guard. The only one I didn't make that a rule for is Clayton Jr. on Utah, just because pods is really the only other cheap value piece. Everybody else is I want to use as a spend up. And so just for some lineups that I'm not playing pods at 100, I'm playing them at 75%. But just in some of those ones that I need a value, but I'm not playing him. I'm okay going Clayton there at the point guard position. But for the most part, anybody who has shooting guard eligibility will want to play them there. Harden and pods, you're for sure playing in cash. And then probably Maxey too, as the third one that I'm going. Those are the 3 that I'm playing in cash games today. But Curry is a great pivot. Jamal Murray is my favorite pivot. Few people are going to get all the way up to Luka Doncic. I like the Keontae George call. Only other guy in my pool is DiVincenzo, but 3 of these guys in every lineup.
Okay, let's go to shooting guard.
Clayton Jr., like this is a salary saving position for the most part. Clayton Jr. is I'm getting to in like half my lineups. Richard is somebody that I'm playing a ton as well. He may be out, and so if he is, since he's questionable, I'm just going to do the direct straight line pivot to Gary Payton Jr. He's only $100 less at the same position. So if he's out, just pivot to Payton. Then I'm getting to just like a few mid-tier guys in the 10%. Oh, like, and Anthony Edwards. Sorry, Anthony Edwards is my third highest, though, and I have like 20%. But then I'm just mixing in mid-tier guys at 10% each. Kobe White, Stephon Castle, VJ Edgecombe, Brandon Ingram, Jordan Miller.
Do you have a preference between Clayton and Richard or Richard? If you're, they're both dirt cheap.
Clayton.
Okay. Kirk, shooting guard.
We did just get Paul George out for Philadelphia as well. So
what's your immediate thought there, TJ?
Makes Quentin Grimes a little bit more interesting, and I think it makes VJ Edgecombe better than he even was.
Okay. Kirk, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah.
And sorry, one more thing. It kind of solidifies Maxey as that third point guard cash game spot.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, Maxey definitely gets a boost here. Okay, shooting guard, my favorite player is Anthony Edwards. He's coming off a couple days rest, which nobody on this slate has a couple days rest, other teams. He is not on the front end of a back-to-back. He's coming off of a 55 real point game where he was 41% usage, and they lost their last game. So I think then he gets the golden matchup, which is Utah, who just give it up everywhere. Transition, steals, everything you can think of, threes, everything you can think of for Anthony Edwards, it fits perfectly. So he's my guy, and the only worry I really have is if it's a blowout, but I think it's going to be him blowing him out himself. I think this is an average game. And he got snubbed from the All-Star team too. If you want to throw some narratives around, you can definitely throw it. But regardless, he's a solid great play anyway. So he's my number one. Norman Powell, former UCLA player, out on the West Coast is always a little bit interesting with Hero out. He just has the usage that's going to keep them in the game against Sacramento. Sacramento's a great matchup, so I like Norman Powell tonight a lot. Moses Moody is one of the Golden State cheap guys that we can play. Jaime Jaquez Jr., definitely we can play him as well, 5,500. Kobe White's minutes have been trickling in the right direction, and he's coming off of a really solid game, and we've been waiting for him. He hasn't looked right for a while. He's starting to look right now, so I like him. The only I know TJ said Walter Clayton Jr., and I do agree he's a good play, but I watched the game last night, and he went down with like an ankle injury in the second half. He came back and played the whole time and was fine, but could be one of those cases where the next day the ankle swells up and now he's not so fine anymore. That's the only caveat I just wanted to throw out there. But probably Edgecombe probably gets a boost too from no Paul George. He's playable here at shooting guard.
You made such a good case for Ant, but now I have to take out Maxey or Murray or
I said, it's like these guards it's stacked for guards right now.
All right. Would you rather have Edwards than Harden? Speaking of,
I would personally, because I'm a little worried about the back-to-back with Harden and the exact opposite with Edwards. So, yeah, I would take Harden. That's me. But if you want like the projection play, and Harden projects better. Yeah.
And did we get a finger update? Give us the finger, Kirk.
Okay, so we do have a finger update. So the antibiotic isn't working as well as I expected. So I now have a dermatologist appointment on Friday. I had to go and get the referral and all that. I hate our medical system. It's so mind blowing.
You really.
I have an appointment on Friday. So to see what the hell this is, I don't know. It looks like there's something. It looked like that thing had a pulse. Someone said in chat the other night when I showed it. So,
all right. This could have all been avoided. You just looked into it when you first had a weird gushing finger weeks ago. But okay, it's fine. Let's go to small forward. We got to stay on track here.
Okay. Norman Powell. There's probably a position for value here. So it's Norman Powell would be the higher end guy. Moses Moody is value piece. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is kind of just that solid mid-range at 5,500. D'Anthony Melton might see a good amount of time for Golden State, and he's been really effective when he's played much. And even in his last game against Charlotte, he played just 21 minutes but had 39 fantasy points. So when he's gotten minutes, he's been a beast. And I don't think they're going to play Kuminga. I don't know how to gauge this whole thing, but Kuminga asked for a trade. His relationship with Steve Kerr is irreparable. It's been noted, and the biggest concern for him was he couldn't get minutes because Jimmy Butler. It's his position. Jimmy Butler, he'd have to take him from Butler. Now Jimmy Butler's out of the way. Do they just play him, or is you're going to say the relationship is not damaged anymore? I lean that they're just not going to play him again. And he's still pouting to get his trade, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. So something to watch out for. But anyways, Peyton Watson is interesting. Ace Bailey for Utah is the guy. If Keyshawn gets locked down, Bailey's stepping into his own. He's been playing pretty well. Sensaball's out, I think, again. Lauri Markkanen's out again. Ace Bailey is a pretty good play at 5,200.
Okay. TJ, your thoughts there as small forward, please.
Yeah, much weaker position than the guard spots. There are definitely some guys here I like, but just nowhere near as many. So that's another one of those things that it's like if they have shooting guard and small forward eligibility, play them at small forward instead, because there are so many good guards on this slate. I'm going to the Golden State guys first. Moody and Melton are my two highest owned. I have 50% Moody, 40% Melton, and then I have 25% Buddy Hield as well, because he is super duper cheap and he might get some minutes tonight. Norman Powell is my favorite of all the spend ups. I'm with Kirky on that one. I don't mind Jaquez in the mid tier. Oubre is playable now that he's starting for Paul George. McDaniels, Durant, if you can get there, great. I just find myself going cheaper at this position a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. How about power forward?
Wiggins is my favorite guy here, another weaker position, but there's three sort of mid-tier, somewhat expensive guys that are projecting really well, and that's Andrew Wiggins, Aaron Gordon, Julius Randle. That's the order I think I would rank them in terms of priority, but they're all in a different pricing tier. So if you're in the 8K range, you play Randle, 7K range, 6 to 7K range, then you play Gordon, 5K range, you play Wiggins. So priority for me, though, it's Wiggins, then Gordon, then Randle. Not much to save with this position, so I am getting just a little bit of Hardaway Jr., and then I'm mixing in some Şengün, Barnes, Watson, and LeBron, but I don't really like any of those.
Yeah. Kirk, power forward?
All right. There's a lot here, kind of. So Randall's probably the best play that jumps out. The second best play is probably Aaron Gordon, but his price is kind of creeping up, and he is still capped. He is getting like the inches. I mean, his minutes are creeping up with, inching up here, I'd say, where he got 32, but I don't think there's much more room to go up for him. But I still like him. He has to do everything with him and Jamal Murray. It's not a bad matchup at all with the Lakers. Jalen Smith now for Chicago is grading out as one of the top plays here on the slate. He's been really good, so I think it's warranted with Patrick Williams out and Giddey out. So like that. Scotty Barnes is a good play. I'm interested in Naz Reid at 6,500, and I'm interested in Peyton Watson.
Yeah, I did get a question about Peyton Watson. I mean, increase in minutes, increase in usage, or
he's been doing everything. He's been awesome. He's really stepped up. But the problem is his price is now higher too. So I don't know. I like him. I think, and I don't think he's going to be played that much tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at? Center? Kirk for center? Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. Zubac is my guy tonight. It's just like the best matchup. So the way I take this game against the Bulls, I think that they're going to punish. I worry about Harden shooting. I think it's going to be a lot of pick and roll stuff. Zubac is just going to take full advantage of everything that the Bulls are bad at. He's got the Bulls. They're just terrible defensively. 24th defensive rating, 22nd opponent rebounds, 23rd in opponent blocks, everything. Opponent points in the paint. And they give up the second most fantasy points to opposing centers. So he's pretty cheap on FanDuel, really cheap, where he's much even better play. I think he's 66 or 6,500, 66, I think it is. But he's still in play on DraftKings. He's my favorite. Bam Adebayo, Kalal Ware is questionable now. And he's in the doghouse anyway. Bam's minutes could be great against Sacramento. So, that's he's definitely in play. Jalen Smith, again, Mamasaku, Sandro, I don't ask me to pronounce the name. You guys know who I'm talking about. Victor Wembanyama is going to be like that. I mean, he's the guy. He got there the other night off of just 26 minutes. You're not dealing with tons of minutes, and this is not the easiest matchup at all. But he can always break a slate, and he's going to be very low on tonight.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Don't mind.
TJ, your thoughts at center?
Yeah, Mamu is definitely the main guy that I'm going with today. Nice and cheap, should play pretty heavy minutes without Murray Boyles. And Golden State is just, we're going to be loading up on them so heavily. He makes the most sense as the run back. I'm getting to a fair amount of Quentin Post in the other side of that game as well, just because he projects fine as is. But if Draymond Green's out, he's probably going to play a lot of minutes. And so Quentin Post, I think, is a guy that if you're playing a lot of lineups, you want to get overweight to in GPPs. I like the Zubac call. I'm getting to a fair amount of Gordon. Nurkic, I love as a GPP play, assuming he's in the starting lineup. If he's out, that's terrifying because just the other day we saw that he didn't start and he didn't play.
Yeah.
But if he happens to start, there were 3 days in a row that a player was listed in the starting lineup and didn't play in the NBA. 3 days in a row. Nurkic was the first one, but then it happened back-to-back days after that as well. And so I really, really where was I? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
I worry about Nurkic,
Yeah.
but everybody does. That's why he's really low owned. And so as long as he's in the starting lineup, I think he's a great tournament play. I'm getting a little bit of Wemby, a little bit of Gobert, and then just a smidgen of Andre Drummond.
Okay, very good. I want to kick it to FanDuel. Before we do that, Pick Labs. If you haven't tried it, what are you doing? It's the newest RotoGrinders feature. Lets you scan for the best player prop and pick up bets in seconds. And it's all broken down for you. Edges, win rates, value, all the good stuff. Of course, things across standard sportsbook sites, but also like Underdog, Prize Picks. It'll help you out there as well. When you see something you like, Pick Labs builds the slip, sends it straight to the book of your choice right there in the app. It's phenomenal. Find it, Pick Labs at rotogrinders.com/picklabs. If you haven't checked it out, you should be doing so. TJ, you can lead us off, I do believe, with some point guard talk.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as on DraftKings, where there's just so many strong guys here. Now, a lot of them do have point guard or shooting guard eligibility on FanDuel, so that does make things easier. But Harden and Maxey are the top spend ups. Quickly is the guy that's going to be going fairly high owned that I'm just not really getting to. He's my third favorite of those Raptors. I just don't feel like he ever has all that high of a ceiling. Jamal Murray is my favorite pivots off of those expensive guys. Podziemski is not as cheap, but still a very strong salary saver. And then Clayton as well. I think you can Clayton or Collier you can go to here, but a max 1.
Yeah. Okay. Kirk, point.
Yes, sir. Yeah, a lot of good plays. It's the same. It's Harden, it's Jamal Murray, it's Luka Doncic on the high end, it's Maxey or Steph Curry. I mean, all of those are awesome plays. So take your pick. Dante DiVincenzo is kind of the salary saver over here in a good spot, and then if you need to go lower, but I wouldn't do it at point guard. So D'Anthony Melton, I still think is in play, but probably play him at shooting guard.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Kirk, shooting guard.
Yeah. So you can play him. You can play Harden, Murray. You can play Edgecombe, who gets a boost now without PG-13. Again, you can play Dante DiVincenzo here. You can play Anthony Edwards here. You can also play Anthony Edwards at small forward. But my lineup is going to have Anthony Edwards in it. Norman Powell again. Kelly Oubre gets a boost too. 4,500 seems pretty darn good without Paul George in this spot. So I like that a lot. And Moses Moody.
Okay. TJ, your thoughts at shooting guard, please.
Yeah, Oubre certainly enters that like cash game discussion on FanDuel now because he is so cheap over there. Melton, Moody, and Oubre are kind of those three guys you're looking at in that setting. And because they do have small forward eligibility, Moody and Oubre, that is, I kind of would prioritize them over Melton, who only has that guard eligibility on DraftKings. Kirk mentioned Edgecombe, love his price over here on FanDuel. I think he's a really great play. And then everybody else we've already talked about, like Norman Powell's great, but we've talked about him once.
Yeah. Okay. Small forward.
A lot of the same names. So Powell, Moody, Edgecombe, Jaime Jaquez is in play. Anthony Edwards has small forward eligibility. Andrew Wiggins, one of my favorite plays on the slate. And that's it. Like, that's kind of it for priorities for me.
Yeah. Kirk, small forward.
Anthony Edwards, number 1 play. Number 2 play for me would be Scotty Barnes. I love it when he gets center minutes, and he probably works out where he gets some in this game tonight. Edgecombe, we already mentioned. Powell, we already mentioned. Oubre, we already mentioned. Jaquez, we already mentioned. You can play Brandon Ingram or Moses Moody, who we already mentioned as well.
Okay. We were a power forward.
Power forward. Jalen Smith. We've got a monster projection on him here at RG for the price. All right. So 5,800 is not bad on his, for over 30 fantasy point projection. So he's in play. Scotty Barnes again. Bam Adebayo. Could just see a bunch of minutes. I already mentioned that before. Julius Randle, Aaron Gordon, Jaime Jaquez, Draymond if he plays. There's a lot of options. And again, if you want somebody extremely low owned, talking probably under 5%. Wemby, it's tough at 10.9, and it's a tough matchup. Roth might be there and might not, but could break a slate.
Yeah, he always can, especially on FanDuel where you get extra points for the blocks. TJ, what you doing at power forward?
Yeah, power forward spot, Jalen Smith does project really well. Aaron Gordon and him probably the two guys I'd be looking at in cash at this spot. Andrew Wiggins, we talked about. I like him a lot. If Draymond plays, he is viable, but I'm personally not getting there. Bam Adebayo is a guy I haven't been playing either, and it's been going pretty well, so I'm just going to keep not playing him.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, I like as a pivot. Same thing with Scotty Barnes. I would only want to get to one of them, but both of them I think are totally fine to play here. And then John Collins is kind of cheap on FanDuel, so that's kind of like a large field dart. I don't mind trying.
Okay, how about center?
Zubac, top play here at the center spot on FanDuel. People are going to be deciding between him and Gobert. I prefer Zubac over Gobert if I'm picking one of them, but both of them are totally fine. I like Mamu as well for a little bit cheaper. He's only $5,200 over here. If I'm playing Drummond, I think I'd rather it be on FanDuel than on DraftKings. He's only $3,900 on FanDuel, and so I think that is totally viable. Even if he, plays 17 minutes, Drummond could pay off that price tag. So if I'm going cheap, he's the guy. And then if you want to run something close to an optimal lineup, but just get off the chalk in one place, play Nurkic at center position. He's right in that same price tier as Zubac and Gobert, and as long as he's starting, he could be a smash play at almost no ownership.
Love that. Okay, Kirk.
Yeah, my favorite play is Zubac. Jalen Smith is in play, but if I can get the Zubac, I will. If I can't, I go to Drummond. It's just worth the risk on FanDuel for $3,900, and hasn't been great lately, and in his last two spots, and he started and was awful against Toronto and got pulled. So the minutes could be low, but again, if he plays pretty well, we know what this guy can do. He can clobber up, gobble up a ton of boards and putbacks and blocks and whatever. So $3,900, I'm in. And Gobert, Bam Adebayo, Mamu, all in play. And if Nurkic, if he's starting, he's in play. If he's not, he's not.
Yeah. Okay. Very good, guys. We have perfectly 10 minutes or so to close things out, answer some questions. So if you have any questions, get them in. They can be dinner related or NBA related. DK Cash question coming your way. Kirkdiese. Jalen Smith and Murray or AG and Ant? Your boy.
I got to go AG and Ant.
Got to do it. Peterman with a Yahoo small field single entry question. TJ DeRozan v. Aaron Gordon. Who's your guy?
Oh, you got to give the Yahoo questions to Kirkdiese, but at least that one's easy. It's Aaron Gordon.
Kid Yahoo still.
Yeah, but not NBA. I can't play. It's just not. There's no action on Yahoo and NBA right now. It's depressing me.
TJ FanDuel Cash 2v2, Julius Randle and DeAnthony Melton or Scotty B and Pele Larson?
First one.
Very good. FanDuel GPP. Kirk, coming to you. It is another 2v2, Wemby and Draymond or Şengün and Naz Reid?
Let's go. Let's go with GBP. Let's go. You got to be ready to pivot too if Draymond's out, but let's go with Wemby Draymond.
Okay. Right back to you, Kirkdiese. DK GPP question from D-Rock. Miller and Clayton or Oubre and Moody?
Sorry, say that second again.
It was Miller Clayton versus Oubre and Moody.
Oubre Moody all day.
Okay. TJ, thoughts on running both Ant and Randall in a DK Cash build?
Fine, but honestly, guys, I'd be just getting two more in tournaments.
Okay. With this question, I learned more than I cared to learn. Blink182 says, one nut Colin Gillespie was born in Philly, played at Nova for 5 years. He's back tonight as a Sun. Is this his legacy game, TJ?
Again, that's a Kirkdiese question.
Kirk?
Well, the problem is he's probably not going to start anymore. Is that good? Or no, Jalen Green's coming off the bench. I'd say no because of Jalen Green now in the mix, but I like where your head's at.
With it being one nut Colin and a legacy
Yeah,
game, that
I
has to be
guess
Kirkdiese.
I gotta. We gotta say yes. We gotta. If you're gonna throw my words out there like that, then let's go. Let's do it.
Is it because he has like a nutty personality, Kirk?
No, it's because Kirkdiese has a friend named Colin. With
I have
one
a
nut.
friend. Well, I grew up with a kid that we called One Nut Colin all of our lives because he
Oh,
had
I
one.
missed this. All right. I assumed it was related to that, but I didn't realize there was a personal story to tie into it. Jumping in the old YouTube. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't hit like yet, you're running out of time. We're running out of time. Click the like. That was my Jack Bauer in 24 impersonation, by the way. We're running out of time. DK Cash question, TJ. Aaron Gordon and Moody or Zubac and Svi?
Gordon and Moody.
Okay. How many Warriors? This is a good question, Kirk. How many Warriors are too many Warriors? DKGPP.
We don't know yet. I think you can play 3 and feel pretty fine.
Yeah. TJ, you've got 4 in some lineups. Don't tell me you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Any love for Hendricks, Kirk, in Utah?
Not really.
Okay. TJ, is Post in play if Draymond is in?
Yep.
TJ, right back to you. A question from Lippy. You want Ayton or Gobbert? DK. But that's Gobert.
Gobert by a lot. Aiton's not even in my pool of 150.
Okay. Kirk, how about Miller for the Sixers? Michael points out he's been killing it.
Yeah, I'm not on him. I get it. I just not. He looks pretty legit, but
He also plays for the Clippers.
yeah, Jordan Miller and the Clippers. He looks pretty legit, and he's had 40, 41, 35. I think the back-to-back. I don't know. I think you can play him. I don't think it. I think I would be. I don't think it's. He can't keep getting away with what he's been doing, and his matchups against Washington and 2 out of the 3, and Toronto in a game that they played pretty well in. So I don't know, but it's not a terrible matchup against Chicago either. So I'm lukewarm on him. Long story short.
Okay. All right. I got another one for you. This one from Raekwon. He says, I can afford both Harden or Murray, but I think he's asking, can I afford? Or, I can't afford both. Which one would you prefer? I feel like that's what he's going for, Harden or Murray. Kirk?
Give me Murray tonight.
Okay. TJ, thoughts on Monk in a DK tournament?
I wasn't getting there at all.
Okay. Chris says Şengün or Harden. You got to go Harden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got to do it. I got some questions back in the old Discord. Kirk, a couple for you. Murray or Harden, FanDuel GPP? I feel like maybe we just did that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that Harden projects as the better play. I think Murray. I'm worried about Harden tonight, so I think Murray. This is a better spot for Murray. So I would lean that way.
Okay, and then Watson or Gordon in a FanDuel GPP. I kind of landed in that.
Yeah, I would just take the savings it's on FanDuel. You said?
FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah, I would just take AG.
Okay. TJ, Harden or Maxey? Straight up cash question.
Oh, cash Harden.
Yeah. Is Rudy Gobert playable in a FanDuel GPP? Perhaps a little revenge narrative, TJ?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he hasn't played there in years, so I wasn't factoring that in. But yes, he's playable. He's going to be like
Who was he
playing?
playing? He was behind somebody. Was Nurk? Did Nurk ever play there? The Nurk was on Denver. It was Enes.
Probably plays there.
Enes
Cantor.
Yeah, I think he was ahead of Gobert for a while. I remember.
Well, they got rid of Cantor because they wanted Gobert over him.
Kirk, DK GPP. It's a 3v3. Moody, Randall, Zubac, or Jaquez, Wiggy, Ant.
Jaquez, Wiggy, Ant.
Okay. And then Kirk coming with a tricky 2v2v2 FanDuel cash question. You ready? Yeah, we're excited. Gordon, Moody, Julius Randle, and Melton, or Scotty Barnes and Pele Larson.
I can't unmute myself right now. Take the.
I got TJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got plenty of questions still. We got about 3 minutes here. FanDuel Cash, TJ, Harrison Barnes, Dominic Barlow, or Oso Iguodaro. These can't be real plays, can they?
Not in cash, no.
Yeah. If you had to pick one of those three, who would you pick?
I mean,
Barnes, Barlow.
no,
or
it's
Oso?
cash. Like, you have to rebuild. That can't be your lineup.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. DKGPP, TJ, Powell, Clayton Jr., or Jaquez Oubre?
Powell Clayton Jr.
Okay. Kirk, back to you. Question from Shane, DKGPP, Powell, Clayton Jr., or Jaquez Oubre?
That's what you just asked, TJ, I think. Isn't it? Wasn't that the same one?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to go opposite TJ. I'm going to go.
Shit. My bad. Castle or Levine? How about that one, Kirk?
Ooh, I'd go Castle.
Okay. We did get that 2v2. We'll see if we can get that done here, Kirk. 2v2v2. Gordon Moody, Randall Melton, or Barnes Pele Larson?
Scotty Barnes, Pele. Yeah, let's go Barnes, Pele, Larson.
Okay, very good. TJ, Westbrook in a pace-up game. Any love?
Nope.
Okay. Is Larson a good cash shooting guard, TJ, from Shane in the YouTube?
No.
No. Okay.
Only cheap plays you should be playing in cash are on FanDuel, Kelly Oubre, and Warriors.
Okay. All right. See what else we got.
Like the reason like that play it was like, which of these 4K guys would you play in cash? The reason the answer is none is because like power forward in cash on FanDuel, you got to go Jalen Smith, Aaron Gordon. It's a very easy one too.
Yeah. Okay. Kirkwood, less than a minute left here. Wiggins or Jalen Smith on FanDuel?
Jalen Smith.
Harden or Edwards, Kirk? It's your boy Ant.
Yeah, Edwards all day, every day.
Yeah. Rank your top Warriors, TJ, from Cleveland Picker, not named pods in a GPP.
Moody, Richard, Curry, Healed Post.
Okay. TJ, did we do the Westbrook in a pace-up spot? Did I ask you that?
We did. We said no.
Okay. TJ, large field GPP, Capella Magbo or Iga Hadaro?
Oh.
But I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Don't pick any of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've hit the lock. We'll see if this question is still relevant as we got it in the Discord here. Kirk, Jaquez Smith or Gordon Barlow, FanDuel GPP?
Jaquez Smith.
A bunch of people pointing out that NS Cantor is no longer NS Cantor, as you may recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is NS Freedom.
Yeah.
Is his legit name these days.
Where is he now? What is he doing?
I assume he's here, hanging out.
Just chilling with all the money he made?
Yeah.
I think he has to be here because he leaves the state to get extradited to Turkey.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I got no chill. Closing out with a boom, 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 boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Where'd you go? Shengoat or Wemby on DK? This will be the final question of the night since we're past lock and all that.
Wemby.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go Wemby. Let's have some fun.
There you have it. And that is how we close things out for TJ, for Kirkdiese, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard and I think dying behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you later. I do believe we got a PGA show coming up in just a few minutes as well. Thanks for tuning in. You have been crunched.